Well, a personal favorite organization, Black Lives Matter, is back at it again, making several headlines over the past few days. Really going after that notoriety, son. I really is what it is. Go get them, kids. But as far as I'm concerned, your brand is bunk, alright? This is coming to us from NBC News. Los Angeles DA's husband pulled gun on Black Lives Matter protesters. Jackie Lacey, LA County's first black district attorney, has been the target of regular protests over the officer's handling of high-profile cases. This is the district attorney right there. Okay, definitely on the older side. Very boomerish. This is written by Andrew Blankstein, David K. Lee, and Mohammed Syed. The husband of Los Angeles County's district attorney pulled a gun on Black Lives Matter protesters, telling them to back off during a tense crack of the dawn demonstration Monday outside the prosecutor's home. A little decorum. You could have did this outside of her office. Let's be real. Protesters knocked on the front door of LA County District Attorney Jackie Lacey at 5:40 a.m. Word! Wow! When her husband David Lacey opened up and pointed a weapon, according to Melina Abdullah, the professor of grievance studies, Pan-African Studies at Cal State Los Angeles, and protest organizer Justin Marks. That I'm telling y'all, this is where the problem is really coming from. We gotta dead this shit. Hungary shows us the way. We heard the gun cocking, and I thought I was being paranoid, Abdullah told NBC News. But then he opened the door, leading with the gun. He saw me and lowered it, pointing it at my chest. Mark said he, too, heard the weapon being locked into firing position on the other side of the door at Lacey's home in the Granada Hills neighborhood of northwest Los Angeles. So what was he using? If they could hear it through the door. Okay, I reloaded. I thought it was someone dropping keys, and Melina said. Well, that doesn't sound good, Mark said, but there was no hello, no face, just a gun pointing out. Hours later, a visibly shaken Lacey told reporters at the Hall of Justice on downtown LA that she and her husband were the only people inside their house, and they were justifiably afraid when a large group arrived before the sun was up. Because, yeah, why wouldn't you be, holy Jesus, like having a mob just roll up to your crib? That's scary as hell. Like, yo, particularly, I mean, this is a black couple. I mean, remember, if you do take it back, that's the scarier shit. Like, you have all these people that sit there and like to cry and complain about, oh, my microtransgressions and shit like that. Nah, bro, having a mob of people roll up to your crib, like, regardless if they burn it across or not, it's very unsettling. The morning my husband and I were at home asleep when we began to hear noise outside of our home. We immediately jumped out of bed and I called the police. I wasn't sure what was going on and I let them know. I thought there were protesters outside my house, Lacey said. My husband David and I have been married for almost 40 years, and while I was upstairs, good on him, man. See, this is like this right here, like, prop it up, man. That's good on her. She was able to have the career and the family. That's good, man. And while I was upstairs, he ran downstairs. I could hear him talking to somebody. He came back up later and he said there are protesters outside the house, and I pulled my gun and I asked him to leave. Organizers who were there to protest the DA office's handling of certain cases said the home is outlined with security cameras, and anyone inside could have easily seen the 30 protesters outside. I said, Jackie Lacey has promised us a community meeting. We're having it now. Could you please ask her to come out front? It's wow, for real. You're instead of scheduling it through via the proper channels, you just gonna roll up at 5:40 a.m. That's ridiculous, said Abdullah, who tweeted video of the early morning confrontation. The armed man then ordered protesters to get off his porch, witnesses said. We don't know how crazy he is. We didn't know if he'd actually shoot me when he did. Back up, Abdullah said. I'm a mother of 3 kids and I really don't want to get shot. Well, why are you rolling up to people? Why didn't you just set this meeting via the proper channels? A Los Angeles Police Department spokeswoman confirmed there was a call for service to the block of Lacey's listed address at 5:40 a.m. On Monday, Lacey left her home for work at about 7:41 a.m., protesters said. That's just so much more, and we're kind of done with this one. But either ways, this is ridiculous. Like, you guys set it's been like what, years now? How come you guys haven't sat down and had these conversations and these meetings already? That's very, very strange. But that's not the end of the Black Lives Matter fund that we have on deck today. Yeah, they shut down an Amy Klobuchar event in Minnesota for that, where they were telling her to drop out of the race, and if she had shown up to the event, she would be dropping out of the race. So, exercises in redundancy. Amy Klobuchar cancels rally after Black Lives Matter protesters seize stage at Minnesota event. This is written by Brianne Fanninsteel. I'm gonna assume that P is silent. Protesters chanting Black Lives Matter and hoisting signs shut down Senator Amy Klobuchar's rally in St. Louis Park, Minnesota, Sunday night after occupying the event for more than an hour. Klobuchar was scheduled to speak at St. Louis Park High School in suburban Minneapolis ahead of Tuesday's Minnesota primary, which she is fighting to win and not sure for his victory. Yeah, she's already out. But dozens of protesters entered the gymnasium and took over the stage, shouting for Klobuchar to drop out of the presidential race over the former prosecutor's handling of a 2002 case. The demonstration prompted her campaign to cancel the event. The protesters were critical of Klobuchar's role in prosecuting Myron Burrell, who they say was wrongfully sentenced to life in prison for the fatal shooting of an 11-year-old girl. You know what? Matt Christensen did a fantastic video on this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to link Matt Christensen's video at in the description, because he really did a standout video on this entire portion of, I guess, my video here dealing with the Amy Klobuchar event. Klobuchar was in the Hennepin County attorney when Burrell, who was 16 at the time, was convicted. That conviction was eventually overturned by the Minnesota Supreme Court, but Burrell was convicted again in a second trial overseen by Klobuchar's successor. A recent Associated Press investigation detailed numerous potential flaws in the case, calling into question Burrell's conviction and Klobuchar's role in overseeing it. Activists have since called on her to end her presidential campaign, which, guess what, she's already done. And she's backed Biden. Man, this is going to be so interesting. July 16th. We'll see what happens come July 16th. But for real, you know what? I know I'm on my second channel right now, but I've been saying it for a while. Bernie, and like the establishment has decided who they're going to send out there like the lamb to slaughter. Is no different than what happened here in Jersey when Phil Murphy was running, and the blue brand and the red brand had, like, really gotten screwed up under Christie. It's so obvious. It's so obvious. But local politics is so different than national politics, and I don't think a lot of people really understand that well. But yeah, let's finish this up. Amy Klobuchar has the power and the influence. If she wanted to actually help us to free him, if she could. Free him, she could, and she doesn't want to, said Leslie Redmond, president of the Minneapolis NAACP, which helped organize the protest. Oh yeah, because BLM definitely can't do it on their own, man. BLM definitely can't hold it down on their own for the most part. I told you guys the story. It's up on his channel, where the lady got a grant, where BLM got a grant for $100,000, and the woman who was overseeing it gave herself a salary of $100,000. It's like, really? Wow. Where's the money for activities? Klobuchar campaign manager Justin Bion said he was disappointed at the turn of events that prevented the senator from speaking to voters in her home state 2 days prior before they vote in their primary election on Super Tuesday. We had a negotiation and had an agreement with the organizers of the protest to meet with the senator on site, Bowen told reporters. She was in the room ready to meet with them, and they changed the terms and decided they didn't want to meet with her. So I'm disappointed that happened tonight, because guys, it's just a tactic. This is nothing more than ploys. And yeah, I'm giving it a little bit of oxygen, but I'm giving it oxygen and laced with a little bit of vaporized rat cyanide, because I would much prefer for this brand to just be completely dead. Like, they do it, it's not really about Mr. Myron, even though, like, yo, from what I hear, yeah, he got screwed over from all the evidence seen. Like, I'd have to know more about the case. Like, I have a far more better grasp, even from what Matt Christensen did. I'd still have to have a a far better grasp. But, like, it seems as if the young man got screwed over. But at the same time, this organization is really about, like, drumming up publicity and drumming up a name more than drumming up Black Lives Matter more than actually fixing anything. I mean, Mr. Seals was 100% correct. But I think we're done here. I really do. I'm missing you guys. I miss the channel. I really do, guys. But well, in a week I'll be back up over there, and I'll toss this video up there as well. So and it is what it is. So with that being said, we're gonna bring this one to an end. All the internet stuff, if you like the talks, like this, go ahead and do that too. Nobody's scared of you. So if you enjoy my fantastic voice, you want to get videos like this every single day, share, because sharing is caring. And YouTube and BitChute and like aren't the biggest fans of your boy over here for very obvious reasons. Make the bell for notifications. Let me know. What do you guys think in the comments? Black Lives Matter. Oh my goodness. Like, this shows you how far behind, because I remember coming up, we be close to New York, so we get a lot of things fast, and family down in the South would get it like quite a bit later. And I just can't help but feel often, in far too many cases, that's just the way information flows. The information flows rather slowly. A lot can make its way around the world twice before the truth gets a chance to put its pants on, right? Either ways, let me know what you guys think in the comments, all right? And until the next one.